Meeting called to order at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, March 12, 2013. Mrs. Burgos, can you please take roll call?
Trustees present are Trustee Kim, Calderon, Duarte, Aguilar, and Vizcarra. You have a full quorum.
Thank you. Ms. Betty Nunez, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Please stand. Right arm over your heart, please. 1, 2, 3.
We go on to item C, approval of agenda. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Duarte, is there a second?
I will second that.
Second by
I will
Calderon.
second.
Second by Calderon. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Item D, Superintendent's report. Mr. Kim, you did respond, didn't you?
I didn't.
Okay.
So it looks like I'm invisible. No. Oh, no,
Okay,
no.
so motion is 4-1. I apologize. Thought I heard you say aye.
Bless you.
Motion passes 4-1. D, Superintendent's report.
Good evening, trustees. Tonight we have a few very special guests, and we're going to start with a young lady who is from our community and currently studying out of the Valley, and she is enrolled in a dental program at USC, and she has been instrumental in working with our FRC and Ms. Betty Nunez and Ms. Armendariz in bringing a mobile clinic to do dental screening and services for our students. And so I'm not going to give you much detail. I'm going to let Ms. Daniela Tirado address you personally, and I'd like to welcome her to our board meeting.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, I didn't prepare anything. I just got in. So my plan or my project is to screen all the students from the Calexico Unified School District from second grade to 12th grade. And from these screenings, we will collect data to see how much need is out here. From that data, what we will do is we will bring the mobile clinic and we will provide services for a week. So those services will include radiographs, tooth extractions, crowns, cleanings, oral hygiene instruction, fillings, just everything for no cost to these children. But what it costs for that mobile clinic to come is between $56,000 to $60,000. So I'm currently working on grants on being able to bring these services to our community. And I'm really excited about this because my long-term goal is to eventually establish something here affiliated with USC here in Calexico and maybe possibly expand through the Valley. Those are my goals because I really want to help those here because I know it's really difficult for families to receive treatment. So I want to provide services that are available to everyone, especially to those young children. So yeah. Does anyone have any questions?
Mr. Kim, you have questions?
Yeah, I think as one of the good moments for us to the grad that come to try to looking for our children's benefit. I think it's one of the sample case, and I wish we can see this kind of the activities more. And if I have a little more concern, there's $56,000 to $60,000 from the trying to finding the grant.
So I'm currently working with the Heffernan Board also, and the Heffernan Board is going to approve sometime soon in the near future how much they will be able to provide. And then from there, it's just step by step, seeing where I can find donations, and I'm working with faculty from USC to write grants where I could possibly receive money to bring here.
I see. I believe they have a Child First Commission. They have some grant through, you have to survive to the second grade first, starting from second grade?
Starting from second grade.
Oh, so not the kinder one.
Pre-K through first grade, it's just a little bit more difficult for the screenings because it's their teeth are not as so involved because they have primary teeth still, so it's just different. But we're trying to expand it from second grade to 12th grade.
I see. But you right now, so you are trying to screening all the students to try to get the data?
Yes.
What we're gonna need for the children?
Exactly.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Oh, my question is this something that USC does on a regular basis?
Yes, so USC Mobile Clinic is a nonprofit organization. So they actually have been out to the valley, but it's been over 25 years since they've been out here. They just haven't had the resources or anyone that really can tie them into the community. And I guess I was there and I wanted to do something like this, and I looked for them. So this is how it started. But this is something they do. They do this like in the LA area. They go out to the communities. They go to Bakersfield. So this is actually the furthest they've been in a long time, because the furthest that they go is Bakersfield, and that's about an hour and a half. So this is a really big project for them, because it's what, 4 or 5 hours away from yeah. So it's the first time that they've done something this big in a long time. But so as long as the communities can provide the funding, USC Mobile Clinic will go. So this funding, whatever it is that they say or they allot us, it just depends on the need. So what that funding will cost, will provide is all the radiographs, all the dental treatment, the armamentarium for the faculty. So everything that we use, like toothbrushes, just everything is covered in that monetary, especially, and also including food and place to stay. Includes everything. So it's, when you put it in perspective, it's minimal cost for the amount of treatment that you're doing for a large number of kids.
Well, I'm happy to say that it's something that we have been talking in the past, bringing something like this. So this fits right into the conversations we have had at the board meetings. I had gone to a training and I saw this mobile clinic also, and, you know, but it's like stationed at the district. But this is a beginning of something good. I don't have a problem with the money, especially if it's going to be by a grant. That would be great. It'd be something that would serve the Calexico community and our children here. I applaud you for all your efforts in trying to bring the mobile here. You are from Calexico?
Yes, I was born and raised in a Calexico High School graduate.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So this is how you, yeah. This is how it is when we say, you know, learn and go out and learn and explore and look at other places and come back and give to your community. Although you may not stay here, but you're bringing a lot to the community just by making the intent of doing this. So I applaud you for it.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is good, positive news.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Vizcarra?
Thank you. So, again, just I applaud you for what you're doing. I think it's a great service. You have started, right, some movement with this because some letters were sent home, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Letting parents know.
So the actual screenings will take place starting tomorrow. So they'll be here for 3 days. So we have volunteers. We have 32 dental students coming and 5 faculty. So our plan is to separate into groups of 11 and try to screen 3 schools or more at a time each day. So within 3 days, screen all schools. So it'd be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
So after you do all the screening, so you're going to collect that data and then go back and then look for, or you're looking for grants. Now, How quick of a turnaround do you think you're looking at for coming back and providing the
So,
services?
yeah, so the thing is that it's just how quickly I can receive the money to provide the services, but I'm hoping to do it as soon as I can. Like, as soon as I get that money, or put in perspective, set a date. I can tell you right now it's not going to be in April because it's finals week for the dental students, and then it's our spring break. So it'll be really difficult to recruit enough volunteers.
For spring break?
Why? Because we don't get a break, because we start right again. We start summer semester, or the third trimester of the year, in May, at the end of April. So we jump right back in. So I know students are going to want that break. So maybe possibly at the end of May. But I know that here school ends in June, I believe. So unless if we work something out with those students who are going to receive the care, that if it were to be during the summer, then provide them with the set date and location, because when the mobile clinic actually comes, it'll be set in one location, and it'll be stationary there for the entire week. So then those kids can just go and get that treatment done. So that could be another option. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I think it's incredible. I think it's fantastic, and congratulations, and thank you for coming back and providing this here.
I've got a couple of questions. I know that the mobile unit will be used in terms of doing, the assessment. Will you have any additional use of need for use of facilities like a classroom or anything like that?
Oh, okay. So the screenings are going to be taking place in a classroom. So the screenings will only consist of maybe 30 seconds maximum per student. It's really quick. Like it's not going to take anything longer. It's just visual, just looking into the mouth, assessing and coding the child. So that process is quick. That's going to be in a classroom. When we return, then that's when we will bring the mobile clinic, which is trailers. It's 6 trailers, and we will need, for one day on Saturday, one facility. May it be maybe the high school gymnasium to set up, because in there, that's where we do the cleanings. So we bring in as many kids as we can at one time, and there's dental hygienists and dentists cleaning teeth. So it's just a movement. So that takes place one day. So each day of the week is designated for something specific.
Okay. The other question is, I know that you mentioned that a letter went home already, and please let us know how else we can help you get the information out. There's always social media, but maybe perhaps doing interviews with, like, for example, local radio stations. KXO is really good about creating awareness, just those things. And if we can tie you in with any of the local media, that would be great.
Yeah.
Both Spanish and English media.
So that's my next step. So after I collect and have something more concrete and solid that I can actually say, okay, this is what I have, then that's when I want to look out for the social media. And I already have some I've already spoken to some people, so I have some resources already set. I'm just waiting for this process to be over, so then we can start that. Because I do want to bring awareness, because any donations that are available, or may it be food or waters or money to provide, then that's when I would take it into the USC account.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank
this.
you. You're welcome. Thank you.
Are there any further questions? No? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know if Mr. Tirado wanted to add anything else. I know he wanted to speak, so I'll go ahead and let him do that now.
As all of you know, she is my granddaughter, and I'm very proud of her. Talking to her, and I want to appreciate Mrs. Armendariz a lot, because they've been working very close together, Mrs. Nunez. I really appreciate that, and more so the fact that she is my granddaughter, to recognize that here in Calexico, not only in Calexico, in this whole county, okay, the need for hygiene, for you name it, whether it's dental, any other illnesses down the line, we need this kind of support, okay? Just let me give you some statistics about this world of ours. You know, in the United States, we have a 8.3% of unemployment, okay? That's a recession, okay? In California, it's 12% unemployment. That's a recession. 25.5% is for Imperial County. I define that as a depression, okay? It's not a recession, okay? So USC recognizes the needs of this valley, and I'm proud of my granddaughter that she's making them recognize, instead of going to Riverside, Fresno, which they participate, LA, San Diego, they participate there. So she made it known to them our needs. So they do. I did leave a copy there of the itinerary of what they expect of Imperial Valley. Okay. Now, very clearly, okay, it's between $56,000 to $60,000 a grant. Okay. I think it's very well defined by USC, even by myself, the hardship that you have right now in your financial here for the school board. Okay. So they understand that, okay? But I will still say that I have approached the Heffernan Hospital Board, okay? I'm just a concerned citizen, and I've expressed myself with them, okay? And truthfully, I believe that they are willing to help, okay? They're willing to participate to help us out with the grant deal, okay? However, they're not going to depend on me, which I know that. I'm not a representative of Calexico Unified School District or USC. Okay, so they expect someone from the school district or USC on the next regular meeting, okay, to come over and explain all these details, and I'm sure they'll get some funding. Okay. My concern is that not only Heffernan Hospital Board participate, okay. I would say Clínica de Salud would benefit a lot, simply because they are dental services there. They would benefit from it, okay? Furthermore, I would say the city of Calexico should participate. These are students of Calexico. We should respond, okay? And the banks of our system here, they should participate. You know, I left you some material there, and you're gonna see when all these vehicles do come in, the trailers and down the line, there's some expenses. I mean, this is just the cost. You'll read that material, it's just the cost of what they're providing with us, okay? Hey, if you would go to dental service online, I mean, some of them can't afford it. They don't have the insurance for it, okay? So they suffer, we suffer, okay? At least there's a breakthrough with this, okay? So what I'm really asking, and I've talked to Mrs. Armendariz, and she's willing to, okay? Number one, that next meeting at the Heffernan Hospital Board, that I will go with her so that legally somebody can respond to them and make their offer, okay? The same stuff, I'll be making arrangements with the city of Calexico and down the line. But you need someone from Calexico Unified School District there to say, I am the representative, Mr. Tirado, just a little token here down the line, okay? The thing is that we got to show to USC that we're not only getting the grant money just for nothing, but that we also have a concern for our kids and for the future, okay? Those are the important issues, okay? And basically, I mean, that's my presentation, that we have to demonstrate something to USC, to our kids, okay? That tomorrow they'll have a better smile in their teeth, okay? Thank you very much. You have any questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And Mr. Martinez, along those lines, Mr. Martinez had something to say briefly as well regarding this matter.
I guess you all know that I was teaching at Aurora High School when Mr. Plow was there. And one of the things that we did is that we started a program where we had students going to IVC to learn to get into the health field. They were taking the 3 basic courses. We got that through the Blue Cross Foundation, and that was something that I did, and I'm putting myself particularly on this because I did do the work on this, got the Blue Cross Foundation to put up, and they put up $50,000. I think that Mr. Moreno remembers that it was one year when I had already left Aurora, and you had it for 1 more year. Is that correct, Mr.?
That's correct.
Yeah. So one of the sources that I think that we can talk to would be Blue Cross, because they were putting up 50 grand, and that's what the young lady's looking for. And remember, Blue Cross loves this place because we are one of their longest-term customers, and that can be used as leverage. What I can do is that I can begin to talk to the people that I know with the Blue Cross operation to begin to get the contacts, because as I understand it, the foundation has moved to Atlantic City, and so it's not here in California, it's now in Atlantic City, because you have the Anthem part to it now. And if it's okay with the board, I'm willing to devote my time to do that, because I think this is a really tremendous idea of us doing that. So if it's okay with the board, I would like to, because I have some contacts with the Blue Cross, talk to them and begin this process for us to get the right name and who to talk to with the Blue Cross board, with the foundation, if that's okay. Because I think that's a real opportunity to get the money on that. And they move very fast. So that's about all I had to say.
That sounds, yeah. Maybe if, Mr. Martinez, if you get together with Hortensia and maybe make those contacts in terms of.
Who's Hortensia? Oh, okay. All right. Then I would get together with her and then begin the process?
Yeah. Mrs. Duarte also pointed out another thing would be to get our provider, Keenan Associates, to help sponsor with that as well, right? Save us some money. That's for sure. Preventive medicine. Anything else?
Yes, and the next special group that I wanted to introduce as part of my superintendent's report is the FHA Hero ROP Food and Technology Group. They're here with Ms. Betty Nunez, and they were part of a regional competition just recently, and based on the success that they had at this regional competition, they qualified to participate now in the state competition, which will be in April. But I'm going to let Ms. Nunez and the young men introduce themselves and give you more information.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, Board and Madam Chair. These are 2 students who are going to introduce themselves and what it is that they do in the class before we kindly invite you to an event that's coming soon.
My name is Jaime Ortiz, and I'm the president of the FHA Hero Club. And we just went to regionals and we qualified for state. So we're going to be representing Calexico in Ontario for state competition. And if we win in state, we will represent the state of California in, where was it, in Tennessee? For cooking. And what we really do, we just cook. I mean, we present and we cater. Anything that has to do with culinary, really. The boiled eggs too.
Make some killer chiles curtidos. I got a jar at
Churros
home.
locos and some papitas locas.
My name is Joseph Salgado, and I'm vice president of FHA Hero. And basically, what he said, we cater, we prepare food for people that need it, and pretty much that's it.
And we're here today to go ahead and invite everybody, our board and our board members, if you could please show up on this Thursday, March 14th at 5:30 through 7:15. They have the 15th annual showcase and recognition ceremony. That's the from the Imperial Valley Regional Occupational Program. And of course here we offer the various programs and the trainings. Is that mine? The programs and the trainings and services and opportunities for our youth and our young adults. So we hope to see everybody there. This is at the expo at the fairgrounds, this Thursday the 14th. And we have here our If you gentlemen can go ahead and give this to our board members, and then. Okay. And this is also for the public. It's free admissions for any parent, any school, any persons from the community that could go. And you have free food there for you to have. Showcase anything that they're doing and all the occupational programs. And as you know, we do have pathways at Calexico High School that have 3 courses to go along where the student actually graduates through Calexico High School and part of Aurora too, where we have the Law Enforcement Academy, where we start off with a basic course, with a core course, and finally an ROP course. So it's a pathway. We do belong to part of the Perkins, called Perkins. And again, the FHA Hero is the national organization that we belong to because we have these courses. And they want to say something else to you.
Oh, and thank you for supporting our program.
You're welcome.
I have,
Any questions?
so at 5:30, you have the award ceremony. That's when we're gonna let you know if we want, if you guys won.
No, the regional meeting, we have to attend 2 regional meetings per year as part of our program, part of our fundings, or to help to help it make it better, to expand on it, or to improve in these programs. We have to attend 2 regional meetings. The one that we attended at the beginning of the school year, and then this one. The second one, they actually compete, showing and improving in their skills. While they show their skills, this is where they can actually go into the next level, which is the state competition. If they make state competition, they go to nationals. At nationals, if they win, there's different kind of categories. If they win to a certain extent where they are nationally recognized, they are there also to compete for grants and scholarships for their future, meaning they could get to any culinary school that they want and or university. Okay, and some of them actually get hired on the spot right there. Wow. And we also did really good with our child psychology. These are future educators for America, where they read stories to children, or as if they had children in front of them. And we also did great in the competition, and those girls are going. We had 3 girls going.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No, the only observation is that I know that the Calexico Educational Foundation has hired.
Yes, they also
FHA
cater, and
heroes.
this is where they also showcase their skills. They get polished, and eventually what they want to do, or what we could do to get them the certificate to start working, is getting them out there in the community. So from Denny's to, there's a new place coming along, quinceañeras, weddings, and stuff like that, where they could actually create the whole catering system. So they go from buying the stuff to preparing the stuff, from food and safety to literally presentation. And all those skills are part of the competition and part of the regional meetings that we have.
Thank you. Any questions?
We are available as taste testers. If
Yes.
you would want to
Yes.
bring anything,
I'm putting it in my
you're welcome. to
And
do
so
that.
that's why they're inviting you, so you could come and represent and actually be in their booth for Calexico, because everybody in the Imperial Valley is there representing their schools, and we're one of very privileged schools that still have our pathways, almost intact, and we're trying to promote so we could have not only the credentialed teachers, but the students that are completing the pathway.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that is all for the superintendent report.
Thank you. Okay, now we will now move on to comments from the public.
Did you get this?
I'm sorry, no,
Go underneath.
hold on. Hold on.
Okay, all persons are encouraged to attend and participate in meetings of the Calexico Unified School District Board of Trustees. Please fill out the form available at the door and submit to the Secretary of the Superintendent prior to the meeting. Your comments will be heard with no action taken under the designated section of the agenda. For all presentations, the presenter will limit his or her presentation to 5 minutes. Public comments will be limited to 10 minutes total, and each board member will limit his or her comments to 3 minutes. Each presentation, including public and board member comments, shall not exceed 20 minutes. For the record, state your name, title, whom you represent, and the agenda item you are addressing. You're not allowed to make personal attacks on individuals or make comments which are slanderous or which may invade an individual's personal privacy. The district will not respond to your comments at this time. Your questions, concerns, and/or input will be referred to the appropriate department.
Thank you. Mr. Jose Garcia?
Good evening. My name is Jose Garcia, and I'm here to represent my son, Ivan Garcia. He has some handouts for the board, if he can go and pass them out real quick. The reason that I'm here is because Ivan, my son, he's a returning varsity baseball player. Before the season started, he had an injury on his leg, which was a hamstring. Ivan is a hemophilia patient. Hemophilia is a blood clotting disorder. Ivan has been playing ball ever since he was 5 years old. He's participated in several all-star teams. He's participated in travel baseball team. He's participated in tournaments, Caesar Field tournament up in Tucson. So he's been pretty much involved in baseball all his life since he was 5 years old. He had tryouts a while back, and he was still hurt, so I requested for the coach to allow him to skip trials because of his injury. Anyways, I really don't want to get into it because I don't have much time. But what I'm trying to say is that once the trials were completed, Ivan did not make the roster. I questioned the coach. Me and my spouse went and we talked to his sports director. We had a meeting with him and questioned the coach why. What was the motive that Ivan did not make the team? If you guys look in the back of the paper, we have all the reasons that he said why he didn't make the team. One of the reasons that he said why Ivan did not make the team was he said that Ivan was a sick kid full of bruises, massive bruises. He also said, I don't know, because I asked him, well, obviously you don't know much about hemophilia. So he responded by saying, I don't know what hemophilia is and I don't want to deal with it. He also said, I'm a coach, not a medic. He told us, I'd rather work with healthy kids than sick kids. He went as far as telling me and my spouse that you guys are wasting my time. Ivan did not make it, period. He's sick. He's not good enough. He doesn't have the baseball skills. The other 17 players are better than your son. This meeting was conducted at the sports director's office. Me and my wife were humiliated. We were bullied. We were treated like we were not important. All these comments that he made about my son were uncalled for. My son is protected under Section 51 and Section 504 under the ADA program. I felt that the way my son was treated by not allowing him to participate with the rest of his team, because he is a senior this year. I haven't played varsity ever since he was a sophomore. As a freshman, he was taken up to the varsity to bat under that coach I was at that time. He was given about 4 opportunities to go out there and bat. He did pretty good. I mean, not because he's my son. I'm a coach myself. And for him to come back and tell us that my son was not good enough, that my son was a sick baby, a sick kid, that he had massive bruises, and you know, it was just so devastating. Up to this date, my son has not received any assistance from the school, psychological assistance. Today I had a meeting earlier with Mrs. Sambers, and I asked her why nobody had ever bothered to talk. This is the first time they have met my son. They have not met him ever since the 4 weeks. Everybody was so caught up on the legal aspect of this case, and nobody bothered to talk to him. So I asked for an answer. So what's going to happen with the coach? I was told that he was going to remain the coach, the varsity baseball coach. And I said, wait a minute. After all this stuff that he did, you're still going to keep him. So I guess their suggestion was that Ivan should play JV instead of playing varsity where he belongs. So what I told him was, okay, the coach degraded him. Now you guys are going to degrade him too? I want to believe that there's zero tolerance for bullying in the school. I want to believe that harassment is not allowed. I don't know what to tell you guys, but this is not right.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
This is my son, Ivan.
Do you wish to address an update in regards to that? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
You're welcome.
Mr. Chad Cooper.
Good evening. I'd like to address several items on the agenda. Hopefully I can do so in 3 minutes because I still need to go vote. There's a state senate election going on today. On your consent agenda, you've got several items that don't involve overnight travel, such as attending a teleconference. I'm still confused why attending a teleconference requires a request for travel. It's a waste of the board's time and district resources to have to prepare such things as attending a teleconference. Moving on, I'll contact board members individually about this, but I'm having trouble figuring out which ACT grievance the board is, or what order the board is dealing with ACT grievances. I've got some over 2 months old that I can't get a hearing, or that I haven't been granted a hearing for yet, and others seem to be on a fast track. And there's been a breakdown in collaboration between the association and the district, and I'd like to see that collaboration restored so that we can be efficient. My understanding is that you're going to talk about extended contracts tonight. I did some research. Brawley High School, 1,600 students there. Amount of extended contracts, 0. Imperial High School, smaller high school. Some might say that staffing's even more challenging with fewer students. 0 extended contracts. Central, 1,800 students, and the answer I got was 5 or 6 extended contracts. I look at Calexico High School, over a dozen extended contracts. The response at level 2 that the superintendent provided me said that 3.6 teachers would be hired back, and that's basically not a significant amount. There's something going on with our master schedule creation at Calexico High School that isn't going on at high schools within a 30-mile radius of here. And before I bring something to the superintendent's attention or my bargaining units or anyone else, I kind of give it a smell test, like what's going on in Imperial County, that if they can do it in Brawley, we can do it in Calexico. And I don't know who to blame, Ann Mallory, former administrators, but there needs to be serious guidance on the master schedule at Calexico High School. And I'm talking about the 9 through 12. My understanding is the first meeting on the master schedule is going to take place March 18th. I hope that the board asks for updates on the way, because there's really no reason for a dozen extended contracts. It cheats the students, cheats staff members, and it just doesn't lead to a good working environment for the students or teachers. And I'll put in other comments for other items if they come up. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper.
And I know comments will be directed to appropriate staff, but there was a very close working relationship, and something in the last couple of weeks has changed. I'm not quite sure what. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Raul Ureña.
Good evening, board members. My name is Raul Ureña. I'm a sophomore here at Calexico High School. And I came here to give a warning to the school board. It has to do with something similar to what Mr. Cooper said about the master schedule. But first, I'll give you some background information. At Calexico High School, we had our elective fair a couple weeks ago. We were asked to choose which electives we would like to have next year. So I thought it was a splendid idea. Mr. Pesqueira told us that was done so we can decide for ourselves what electives we want, instead of having administrators decide for us. So that was great. However, at the paper that we chose our electives, there was a footnote at the very bottom. And it says, caution, electives are prone to change. Some may be deleted, some may be added. So I think the school board does have a role to play in this, to prevent, so that kids get the electives they want. They have to stop using the bully pulpit to fire teachers and then bring them back the next year. Now that you know what electives we want, what the students are demanding, say for example we don't have enough sections of art. Instead of cramming all those students into any open sections, let's hire more art teachers so students can get the electives they want. Last year, I remember I wanted my chemistry class. Of course, the counselor said, no, we don't have any open sections for chemistry. You're a sophomore, you can't take it, you're not capable. Of course, I passed with an A+, but they didn't really care. So they tried to cram me into AP Biology, a class I didn't want because there wasn't teachers. If the school board knows what electives students are demanding, they should try to adjust their teacher roster to meet the demands of the students instead of just cramming them into any open sections. So please keep that in mind, and let's try to have a better year next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Udeña. I have no further items for comments from the public. We move on to item F. I'm sorry? I haven't received it. You listed it as L1. Did you want it and that's fine. Come on up. You can do it in public comments.
If I say it now, I have to say it then, or?
No, you can say it now.
Oh, okay. Good
up to
evening.
you.
My name is Cristina Costa, and I'm currently a substitute teacher with Calexico, and I'm also a parent. And I'm here tonight to discuss my concerns regarding credential issues, particularly emergency versus clear credentials. Particularly concerned about the agenda item for the Cesar Chavez site. It's being listed as a 6th grade when it is a 6th grade, but it's a newcomers class. And the reason why it concerns me is because it does require different credentials. It requires a B-clad credential. So one of my concerns is making sure that whoever is going to be placed in that position has the correct qualifications to be there. So I called Human Resources just to be sure, because I think it's important. You're working with a different group of students. And I was told that the person had an emergency credential, which right away concerned me, not only as a teacher, as a parent. Why are we still issuing emergency credentials when we possibly have teachers that are fully credentialed and have a B-clad and not an emergency basis? That really does concern me. I think the board really needs to look at that. Not because I'm here to say that I'm the next person, because I was a laid-off teacher, to say that I'm even next in line. My concern is if we have teachers that are highly qualified with clear credentials, wouldn't it make more sense to place those teachers in the appropriate classrooms? Not a lawyer, so I don't know the technical aspects of it, but it just concerns me, why would we be placing someone with an emergency credential there? Also, when I spoke to the human resources specialist that I spoke to, I was told, well, how often do you offer emergency credentials? Because, that does concern me even as a parent. And I was told that she issues emergency credentials on a daily basis. A daily basis. Well, why are we writing emergency credentials on a daily basis? To who? Which positions? I really don't understand. That's another concern. Students deserve the best in Calexico Unified School District. Parents want the best, and the district needs the best. So why we're dealing with emergency credentials when we perfectly are capable and we have highly qualified teachers waiting to be rehired, waiting to come back, and we're issuing emergency credentials. The district is going to continue to lose good teachers. Like myself, they're going to lose students like my children who do well, that the district needs. So I really implore the school district and the school board to work together and to decide what they're going to do. Why is it that some people can get issued an emergency credential and some people cannot be issued an emergency credential? What is the protocol? What is the procedure? And I'm holding Human Resources and the district responsible for this, because there seems to be no continuity and it's not fair and it's not right, first and foremost to our students. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Ambris, will you please look into that? Seeing no further public comments, we'll move on to F, consent agenda. Board members, are there any items to be pulled? Mr. Kim?
I'd like to put. My microphone's on.
Take it.
You know what? That's the cord that you would pull.
No, this is mine.
That's yours?
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, that's mine.
Is that yours?
It's fixed?
Is it fixed now? Okay. Well, I fixed it. Fixed it.
Okay, I'd like to pull the F2 and F1.
Is that all?
Yes.
Thank you. Anybody else?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay. So do I have a motion to approve item, Do you wanna pull
one for
something?
Just one for discussion, yeah.
Which one?
3F.
3F? Okay. See no further requests to pull items from the consent agenda. We'll ask for a motion to approve items 3A, B, C, D, E, G, H, and 1. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Duarte, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Calderon. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Item F1, Mr. Kim.
Yes, they're still not in the what I'm stating last meeting about the Child First Commission. A Child First Commission is appointed by the Child First Commission, not by the board.
You're
It's
correct,
still-
Mr. Kim. I was mistaken. I was under the impression, and I verified with Mrs. Duarte, I was under the impression that it was a board appointment, so that is correct. Should not be on there.
Okay, so I think so both have to bring that back to the item we voted it because they put together or voted it. So you have to put agenda for the other actions too because that action took wrong.
Well, that was a mistake, so we can bring it back.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, that is not. That's what I'm saying is not in place here neither.
So,
So I like to put in the what I stating last meeting on the Child First Commission into the what's called the minute.
Okay, provide the language that you, or we'll ask Mrs.
I think we already have a.
If you can go back and look
recording,
to see what Mr. Kim's statement is, and then correct it that it is. It isn't a district appointment for the Child First.
Madam President, we're not talking about these minutes, but the previous minutes.
Yeah, but the last meeting, the
Right.
regular meeting, I was
Okay.
complaining again for the other
Right.
meeting.
But not on these minutes, correct? It was a previous meeting.
Yeah, okay, this minute supposed to be showing up the what I complained for the last minute.
Okay, so
It didn't come up.
those minutes have already been approved, Mr. Kim.
Yeah, there has to be. Well,
So
we have to.
then that's a separate item.
Yeah.
So what particular concern do you have with the minutes of February 26th?
Well, the minute approval I was mentioning about that is not there.
So what part do you want corrected on these minutes?
Here, the 98. Motion to table the minutes of the regular board, the meeting held on the February 12th. They don't say anything reason on that.
I think that for clarity's sake, why don't we just place the item, your remarks today will be duly noted, and then we'll bring back the appointments or a certification that you are on this Child First, rather than trying to go back and recreate the minutes.
Well, because the minute, we have a lawyer next to the sitting, is a minute is legal documents.
And that's
The
why
legal
we're having...
document has to be show up.
That's where we're having, I publicly stated that I was mistaken, and that will be built into the minutes, and I have publicly acknowledged that you are the person that is appointed, and that will be built into the minutes.
But
Is that acceptable to you, Mr. Kim?
No, not. I'm not.
No? Okay. So, well, other than that, I mean, the
Well, you guys always can vote 4-1. You guys, you always doing it. So what's the big deal? I'm agree or not?
Okay.
But I have a question.
Yeah. go ahead.
So so you're saying that we are going to the minutes from last board meeting, that we're going to put what he said, that it was wrong, or whatever you said, right? Is that what you're asking? That if we're gonna put that into those minutes, is that what you're saying?
The thing is that when he made the original statement, those minutes have already been approved. The last board meeting, Mr. Kim noted that it was wrong, and he was complaining about it. So what I'm saying is I am acknowledging tonight that there was a mistake made, because I was under the belief that it was a district appointment, and Mrs. Duarte clarified that it wasn't. So I figured that by it being into the public comments that we're having right now, that should clarify it, and we put it on the agenda to clarify that he is the person representing the district in the Children First Commission.
Okay.
So
No, I think there were two issues. One, for the minute. A minute is that this one should be talking about the last board meeting minutes.
Yeah.
The last board meeting, I was complaining the other meeting, the meeting's minute is not in there. The reason, because I'm the one is what I stating to Child First Commission is not board appointed.
okay, and we're
And
saying
that
the
is not
same
there.
thing.
And then now this one, what I mentioned to the last meeting is not yet there neither.
Okay.
And also the other one is what we took took the action, I believe January, that is the action is wrong, because that putting together is wrong action.
And
It has to be
Mr.
brought back
Kim,
to rectify that.
and that's why I'm saying let's place it on the agenda correctly. I've already acknowledged that there was a mistake made, and I've already acknowledged that we will place it on the agenda as corrected. Other than that, Mr. Calderon, do you have any other comments in regards to the minutes?
No, that's it.
Mrs. Duarte?
No, just that if we want clarification on, under Mr. Chad Cooper, he did make a comment that there was discussion of not having open house same day as board meetings, or having board meetings same day as open house, and there's nothing indicating that on his minutes.
And his remarks. Ms.
That's all
Zuna
I have.
Vizcarra?
No, thank you.
Okay. So we've had discussion, and is there a motion to approve minutes of the regular board meeting held on February 26, 2013?
Can I ask a question before we vote? So in the minutes we are about to approve from February 26, are we going to make the
changes?
correction So that's gonna, the correction is going to be there.
And the correction will also be in these minutes, and it'll be on the agenda, so
Okay.
that it's a final
Okay,
clarity.
all right.
Okay.
I move
Madam
to-
President?
Oh.
Can I have some clarity? And on Mr. Chad Cooper's, it was for the special meeting, so you will see his public comments on there. But I need clarity on what you want me to revise on these minutes.
That he stipulated that we had agreed not to schedule board meetings during open house.
I'm talking about Trustee Kim.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you go back to the video and get the item, or if Mr. Kim has his own notes, he can provide you what specifically he stated. I can't recreate his words and would not want to. All right, we had a motion. Did we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Motion by Calderon, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Duarte. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 No.
Motion passes for 1. Accounts payable pre-list, Mr. Kim, F2.
Okay, we have some one of the I wasn't really realize it. Our before I go to the detail, our prepaid list is not including our salaries spending. I know you wasn't been there. We should be include our salaries because spending is be there because the end of the month, every end of the month, I believe the 15th of the every month we have to send to the county. So we're supposed to have how much we're gonna spending for our employment list. Employment, how much paying with the employee payroll. So it should be implementing pay list on the second meeting, which is 4th Tuesday meeting, regular meeting should be reflecting on those. That way we're gonna know how much we're spending money for the employee. And also, we like to know how much we are planning and how much we planning of spending pay. And also we like to see how much you're paying for the overtimes. And what I understand in several areas, we're still paying the overtime. At the same time, we let the employee to workers come, and it's something wasn't here. And the person, I remember the person wanted to drive the bus and never permitted. And but not only that, we like to see how much we spending on all the payroll. That we supposed to know how much is going to be exactly we're going to be having cash that month, end of the month. Because I thought we're not having that one yet, but I confirmed through the county every the middle of the month we have to send them to how much for all the payroll reports. So we're supposed to be having our reports.
Okay, any further items in regards to the pre-list, Mr. Kim?
And this one is, I think so, second page. The Atkinson for the almost $6,500 for the January, I believe. This one for the regarding to the whole the January service.
Please continue.
This is my questioning. And the other one was page 7, Fiesta Mexican food. I believe this one might be the dinner we're taking or something else. I believe the board member, when they come to the meeting, to the board 6 o'clock, they should be able to eat the dinner to ready to be in meeting. We're not out of town.
That is for the tortillas, Mr. Frank.
Okay, I don't care about this exactly or not, but every time we have a meeting, we have the restaurant food to order the board members eating. We should have a prepared to bed meeting. The 6 o'clock good enough time to after dinner so we can be here. I believe we have to spend money wisely. We have to save the money for our children. Thank you.
Are there any further questions for board members regarding the pre-list?
Page, I guess it will be page 2 for Atkinson. It just says for January, so when you say January, you're just saying for the whole month, but I would like to see dates. I mean, you're just saying month, but when do we cut off the month? 15, 16? Everything else you show dates, so if you wouldn't mind, please.
Sure, I'll have the staff
Yeah.
put the 1st through the 31st on the...
And I also have a question on page, okay, it will be 2, 4, oh, okay, 6. Which says employment. SEF local experience charge.
That's to the EDD, it's Employment Development Department, and it just doesn't spell all out on in this little short area here.
Okay. So what is that?
EDD, that's the Employment Development Department. It's it's for state local experience charges for like unemployment insurance and those types of things. This is a bill that we pay for our employees that take the benefit of unemployment and those types of things.
So that's their bill?
That is correct. That's the district's portion to pay the state.
Okay.
Yes.
And last but not least, no, that's it for me.
Thank you, Mr. Calderon. Ms. Duarte?
Are these bills for the summer months?
They vary. And they send us a lot of different, and they could be for the summer, but we probably get the bills quarterly, so it just depends, and we have to respond and those types of things, so that's why they're being paid from October to December.
So unemployment insurance, basically.
Yes,
Okay. May I suggest I agree with Mr. Kim that we have to note the salaries of certificated and classified, not individually, but before. We used to get them on our certificated and classified reports. We used to get the total amount for the month.
Okay.
On the report for each.
Okay.
And one thing that we never got was the broken down of the overtime. And maybe, we can have the regular salary and then the bottom overtime. And I know that that's doable because we used to get the reports like that and they've stopped. But that would give us an indication of how much is being spent out for salaries.
Okay. And also, just so that the board is aware, also on the cash flow, the monthly update, it does total out actual expenses for classified and certificated payroll. It's not. It's on the cash flow, though. You know how I do the monthly cash flow update, and when it's updated actual, you look on the expenditures for the 100s, 200s, and 300s. Those are going to be your certificated, classified, and then statutory benefits, and it'll be an actual for the month. But that's no problem. We'd be happy to provide the board with that
And that way,
information.
whoever reads their agenda can see them on these reports.
Absolutely. And just so that you know, that means that it probably will come a month behind. So, because we're only paid once a month. So at the next board meeting, I can provide you with data for February. So on the I think the 26th agenda, you'll be able to see the breakdown for February. Okay?
Thank you. Ms. Vizcarra? Any questions in regards to the pre-list?
Question on page 7, the Hollandia. The date on that one is 2/15/13. Is that for one day's purchase of milk, $737.64?
I'm not 100% sure about that particular bill, but I can find out and give you the breakdown on that and what that's inclusive of.
Thank you. And page 13, we have looks like two different food vendors, school lunch products, Shamrock Foods. Are those our only two cafeteria food vendors?
You said school lunch products?
School lunch products and Shamrock Food down towards the middle, page 13 of 16.
I'm not sure if they're the only food vendors, but I do know that we've made purchases from these vendors this year and in prior year. That would be a question for Mr. Caballero. I can follow up with
Okay.
Mr. Caballero and get back with the board on that information.
Okay, so then also, is it, this is a quarterly amount that we pay? Or a
No, this is a monthly amount,
Monthly
and I
amount.
actually did pull the prior payments, and they're kind of right. They're right on track. They're trend, so they're not above average or below average. They're pretty consistent on a monthly basis.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Donaldson, just two observations. If I recall correctly, at one point you had developed a legend of a coding legend so that any board member could see based on the coding that what type of expenses, if we could provide that to the board. Sure. Also, the other part is that just to make the observation that Ms. Donaldson makes herself readily available by phone or in person to review this if you have questions in regards to the pre-list.
Always my pleasure.
Thank you. We'll move on to, is there a motion to approve the accounts payable pre-list? You did, I'm sorry. Yes, you did, Mr. Ureña, please. Can somebody turn down that AC, please?
Thank you.
It's freezing. Or turn it up. Yeah, not turn it down, I don't want to freeze. Thank you, Mr. Ureña, please proceed.
All right, thank you. Good evening, my name is Raul Ureña, and as you all know, I've come before this board several times to advocate fiscal responsibility. I want this board to set priorities, to put students first. You guys recall I was here at the last two board meetings, and the first 2 meetings ago, I pointed out some overpriced computers that you guys were paying for. Ms. Ambriz said that she would check with her tech department, but she never responded. And then we see here again in this pre-list that we're paying $6,000 for 2 iPads and a MacBook Pro. Who is it going to? It says Tiers program at Jefferson, but who's going to use these computers? I mean, these Macs are very, very expensive computers. Do you really need these computers? Can't we get something, a comparable PC, for example, that costs a lot less and would save us money? And then the following meeting, you guys voted on the HR director. You approved the description with a salary of $100,000 around there. It was supposed to be $70,000, but and I thought it was a good idea to bring it down that much. But you guys decided, yeah, let's spend an extra $30,000 without any discretion, as if we were rich. And I'm telling you this because at Calexico High School, we're in the same place that we were last year. There's no printing paper at my classroom. One of my teachers has gone as far as to offer extra credit to anyone who brings him a ream of paper so he can give us our assignments. It's ridiculous. This board hasn't changed much. I mean, it's insane to try these same policies over and over again and try and expect different results. We really need to turn this ship around, become more fiscally responsible, set priorities. It's the only way we're going to advance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ureña. Is there a motion to approve the accounts payable pre-list? Motion by Zuno Vizcarra. Is there a second?
I will second that.
Second by Calderon. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
No.
Motion passes 4-1. Go on to item G.
I think that was F, G,
I'm sorry.
F.
3F.
3F.
I think Ms.
I'm sorry,
Vizcarra
yes,
was
3F.
positive. Yeah, 3F.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. Item 3F.
So, yeah, and that's me, and my concern is that it's under request for travel, and it's an online training workshop, and there's no indication that there is any travel involved. So that would be my first question. Is there travel involved here? Is this No.
Not that I'm aware of. I think it's on the agenda because there's a cost associated with it for subs and so on and so forth. So since these types of items have to have prior approval for any type of training or conference, that's why it's here on the agenda. And just so that the board is aware, we've spoken to Ann Mallory in regards to not having to have all of these items on the agenda, and we're working on a resolution to provide the board, hopefully by our next board meeting. And we were just given that guidance, I think on Tuesday, Maria? Tuesday or Wednesday? Or today is Tuesday, last Thursday, to prepare a resolution that would take the place of the prior year resolution for all spending. So we're working to come up with some thresholds and put some procedures in place so these items won't constantly appear on the board's agenda.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for the clarification.
Is there a motion to approve 3F?
I motion to approve 3F.
Motion by Zuno Vizcarra. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Duarte. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Hi.
Motion passes 5-0. Item G. G1, accept and award to the lowest responsible and responsive bid for Calexico High School earthquake repair project. I suspect this is Mr. Martinez?
Yes.
Good evening, Raul Martinez. Yes, in awarding this bid here, there was a slight change on the bid itself, and it was the window frames. That was removed from the bids because it had no bearing on the accessibility compliance with DSA, and it was going to cost an estimated amount of $250,000, so that was eliminated from it. But other than that, these items here, this bid went out because of the mandates from the Division of State Architect. And we had 3 bidders. We had Trademark Construction, which were the high bid at $585,000. Doblado Construction was the medium bid at $548,200. And the low bid was Whitehorn Construction at $517,644. Questions?
Are there any questions, board members?
Who was the last company?
The number 1 bidder was Whitehorn Construction at $517,644.
White corn?
Whitehorn, WHITEHORN, Horn.
Horn. At $517,644?
Correct.
Mr. Martinez, when we're doing these bids, are these companies certified by the state to do construction school sites?
Yes.
They are?
Yes.
Okay. So we're doing this award at $517,644. That's what it's going to cost us?
That is correct.
I'm sorry, are you done with your question?
Yes.
You did say that you're not gonna do the windows, but here in this, where it says subject, it says windows and windows frames. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah. Originally, we wanted to take care of all that at once. When we found out that the estimate was going to come in at roughly about $250,000 more, and that it wasn't a requirement from the Division of State Architect, we removed it from the bid itself, and we elected to have that come back to the board if needed at a later date. But in regards to this, because of the large amount, that was done then.
Okay.
And this is coming from the FEMA's money? Or hopefully?
We're hopeful. We've submitted for that, but I'll defer that question to Mrs. Donaldson.
We have been in receipt of FEMA money of about $1.3 million, and it is the intent of the district, that's how we're going to fund payment of these projects.
And there is no money owed to the general fund from the past work?
There is, and the difference in this particular reimbursement/payment is it's kind of commingled. This is to perform work as well as to reimburse for previous work. So it's my understanding that this is a little bit more expensive than what we had thought it would be, or this is an additional to meet the ADA requirements. So even with the reimbursement, the work still has to be done. So sure, we can reimburse the general fund, but we then turn around and pay for these repairs. So.
Okay. I don't know if you recall when I requested that when we get these type of bids, to put the money that is, or to type in the money that is resting from the FEMA monies, or that category 035? was it?
0072.
Okay.
Like a balance forward is what you're, okay, we can.
That way we know how much money there is, and
Okay.
we don't want to spend $1 million out of the general fund when the work needs to be put on hold if we need to hire teachers.
Right. Okay.
Are there any further questions, board members?
How come you don't have anything in written backup documents here? They're supposed to have some bid for some information. We don't have anything in written except staff's presentation.
Did you,
without any written.
was something emailed out as a backup information?
We never, no. We didn't get backup.
Yeah, and I apologize for that. I've been on jury duty, and the numbers, actually, I wasn't here for the bid openings themselves, and it was taken care of by district staff here with Pat Rivas, Mrs. Pat Rivas. And she gave the information to Mrs. Burgos, and she did put the backup as far as the amounts, but I didn't contact Mrs. Burgos to add. I know she has the total packages there with her, but I didn't ask her to put all that documentation there, so I do apologize for that.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's just the bid numbers. We usually get like the per se contract,
Yeah,
the scope of work.
Yes, you do. And they're in an office here somewhere. I need to pick them up, and I just haven't done that, so I do apologize for that.
Okay. Any further questions, board members? Seeing none, we'll move to, is there a motion to accept an award to the lowest responsible and responsive bid for Calexico High School earthquake repair project?
So moved.
Motion by Duarte. Is there a second?
I will second that.
Second by Calderon. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Mr. Kim?
I'm abstaining. There's no information on me enough to see the black and white.
4 ayes, 1 abstention. Item G2, thank you, Mr. Martinez. Item G2. Mr. Cesar Rodriguez?
Cesar Rodriguez, President, California School Employees Association, Calexico Unified 399. Just here to, excuse me, I've been fighting a cold. Just here to show support for the adoption of the job description and salary schedule for the placement for the Family Resource Center and Student Services Specialist. We are always happy when everything follows due process, and we recommend that you we wholeheartedly recommend that you approve this because it went through all the hoops of the Personnel Commission, and we feel that this is a reward to the person who has shown outstanding services, and if this is what they feel they need, then CSEA backs it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Is there a motion to adopt Is there a motion for an adoption of the job description, salary schedule placement for the Family Resource Center and Student Service Specialist? So moved.
Second. Discussion.
Moved by Aguilar, second by Duarte. Discussion, Ms. Duarte.
I have some questions before the discussions. Is the $2,637 for the increasement or for the salary schedule?
I believe that's...
That's the new
That would be an annual, between the steps, between the current position and with the adoption of this new position, that would be an annual increase to the salary. So it's the difference between the old salary and the new placement, that's the annual effect.
Thank you, Ms. Donaldson. Any further questions, Mr. Kim?
Well, I feel like we are right now reducing the employees every sectors, and same time we increasing our salaries for the staff. Yeah, something goes wrong here. We keep saying the short of the hands. I believe if we need to have some more job to provide it, instead of increase the salary, we should bring the people more personnel to make sure we don't have a short hands. I think that's the best way for our children to get the better service. Every time staff says
Thank you, Mr.
short
Kim.
hands and short
This
hands.
is regarding an adoption of a job description, Mr. Kim.
I understand. I think I read English.
Well,
But,
like I said, it's an
but-
adoption of a job description.
That's the same things. I'm against
Oh.
it. That's why I'm just trying to say instead of increasing the salaries, we try to have more personnel to make sure we don't have issues with the short hands instead of increasing the salaries on the personnel.
Any further comments, Mr. Kim?
I think so. You stop me. You stop me with my intention.
Mr. Calderon?
Just a quick remark. You're saying that this is the $2,637. That's in a year, right?
Yes.
So roughly, this person is a 10-month or 12-month.
12.
So this person is basically, all the job, the reassignment of wages, whatever this thing is, it's roughly about $200 a month more, basically. Roughly, more or less.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
that's correct.
Roughly.
And yes.
Okay. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mrs. Duarte.
It's funny because there's a lot more here as representative duties than the human resources job description. Now, I don't know, are we approving the job description and salary schedule for the job, or are we actually approving the person tonight also? Or is it going to be opened for anybody to apply for this new position? It's on the employment report, so we're doing all three tonight.
Okay, so this one is only adoption of job description and salary sketch. So it's not talking about a person, it's talking about the job description.
Yeah,
But
but
when
on
we
the
op-
certificated report
Okay.
and the classified report, it's, the person's on there. So we're doing all three. It's a classified.
And if you look at the summary of key issues, it says a result of a reclassification request.
Yes. I understand that, but we're doing everything tonight.
That's right. In this particular action, it's just for the job description and the salary placement. So what classification it would go on the salary schedule. And then on the employment report is when we would deal with the reclassification of the position.
So then basically the 2637, does it reflect the employee or does it reflect the increase on the salary schedule?
My understanding is the difference between the positions. So the current position and the reclassifying this new position under the, what is it,
23A.
23A.
Yes, because you have a 23 and you have a 23A.
But that is what's confusing, because the employee is in an 18A or something, 19A or something. And when we say the difference, it's the title that we're doing. So if the person did not exist and we were opening this job description, anybody could apply for it. So the difference would be different.
It would be if we were opening a new position, then it would be the, whatever, step one.
Yeah.
On
Correct.
23A.
Correct.
Less the current position, because there is a position that's in this department.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? So there is, let's just, if it's an office clerk
Yeah,
one or whatever it is, there is a position that is budgeted for. But now, since the position is being reclassified to this position, the change would be the difference between the two, because there is already a position budgeted.
So we're not reclassifying the position, we're reclassifying the person.
Well, the old position will no longer exist, so
But the old position is, what's the title of the old position?
administrative.
So we can't say that it's not going to exist because there's administrative assistants everywhere.
Right. And
So we're talking about the person
and
in reality, yeah,
Numbers should reflect the sitting employee.
exactly.
And if Esther would, Esther's here from the Personnel Commission, she's trying to speak to the item.
Good evening, board members.
Good evening.
Go ahead.
And I think the
You're
confusion
correct.
is that if this is a reclassification, the reclassification is for the employee.
Correct.
If the employee leaves from there, that position will continue to be FRC and Student Specialist Service.
It should be, because the duties would be with that position. However, the board could give direction to administration if they want to restructure that position. If they say, we don't want that person to do that anymore, so just keep it as administrative assistant, that would be your direction to district administration. Or to keep it.
And that is my problem, because we should do the position, that particular position, regardless of whoever sits there. By reclassifying, then she's entitled to it.
Oh, well.
So, and that's what was confusing, because there's a dollar amount here.
Right. We're not reclassifying the position. We are reclassifying the employee. The commission